audiobook narrator, you literally double check every single word you
Oh,
use.
yeah.
Like and, it, but. Do you pronounce it that way?
Right.
You know? But Al, I am so happy to have you on the show. I've actually wanted to ask you for ages and ages and ages. You're one of those people that was on, let me just make sure we're recording. Yes, yes, yes. You were on my social media since I think, narrators were narrators for a long time. We're all friends, but I've never had a conversation with you. But like, you'd see your posts, and you know those people on your Facebook that like you feel like you've known them for years,
Oh, yeah.
and you've never actually talked to them, but you just like, Al, why has he not come on the show yet? Kind of thing. So, Al, we've already touched on some wonderful things. I'm going to bring them back up again because I don't want our audience to miss it. Um, I want to start with 10-year-old Al, please.
Uh-oh.
I want because do you know who you remind me of? I have a very dear friend from kindergarten, um, and Karen Cummins
Oh,
and my
yeah.
father. All three of those people I admire because they have hobbies and things they love, and they're passionate about them, and they just do them. They've like they don't let the stupid world tell them they can't enjoy themselves and follow the things they love. And that's a quality that like I love. I do a lot of it, but I always have a voice in my head feeling guilty.
Right.
Oh, wasting time, spending money. But you, like Karen's like that. And I love that about her. It's just love what you love.
Hmm.
And I don't think there can be enough people like you guys in this world. And I'm fascinated by that. Were you like that when you were 10?
Uh, to a small degree, I think. My my history is a little kind of complicated because I kind of came from a broken home when I was young. My parents split up, and my mother took me and my sister to go live with her in California for a few years.
Where were you
Then
before that?
in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh,
So two vastly different
yeah. Were they
geographies.
really different? I think of
Oh yeah,
Cleveland as like real Americana.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's very different. Where I grew up in Cleveland, it's the typical suburbia type setting. Everybody playing outside, having fun. And then in California, it was completely different. I mean, I didn't know people that I lived around, but it might have just been the time too. I mean, this was in the 70s, way back 100,000 years ago. Um, yeah, and then my sister and I moved back to Ohio to live with my father, and that's where I did a lot of my growing up, and I think that's where I get a lot of my um, childishness, for lack of a better way of putting it, because he believed in having fun. I mean, he was just, you know, he understood that you have to be a kid. You can't take the seriousness of the world too much to heart because it'll just
Yeah.
crush you down. Um, and I
Yeah,
think that's where
you
I get
gotta
it.
love. I saw there's this person I follow, but one of the rare people I just think is amazing on Instagram, and her name's Florence Given, and she talks about love what you love.
Hmm.
Think about the deliciousness. It's spend a day as if you've just fallen in love, and then she gets a lot of nasty comments now
Of
because you
course.
can't do that in this world. You have to be aware of the seriousness. So really, what is that going to accomplish if you meet the world's misery with your own equal misery?
Yeah.
You know what I
It's just going to
mean?
create. It's going to create more misery. I mean, I've seen something, and it might have been uh, on Instagram, but I'm not sure. But it said that misery loves company, but so does joy.
Yeah.
So why not just be joyful?
Yeah, we
I mean,
all want it, don't we?
yeah. I mean, admittedly, it's difficult to be joyful all the time, especially in the, the way the world is right now. But I think that's when we need it especially.
Yeah. And I mean, if we were joyful all the time, we would be psychopaths. But
Or
do you know what I
narrators.
mean? But people are going in the other direction.
Right.
They're going in the other direction. And it's just crazy because yeah, yeah, it's okay. So 10-year-old Al, did he have big dreams? What was his favorite
Hmm.
hobby? What did he like live to do? What did he love the most?
I loved pretending. I mean, I for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a performer of some kind. Um, I would entertain my friends. We would get together. Um, we would enact like plays from Lord of the Rings and stuff. Just we'd take little sections out of that, and we would pretend, just go crazy and pretend. And then for a while, I wanted to be a stunt man, and kind of drove my father crazy because I was jumping off of everything.
You're Gen
But
X like me, huh?
I actually am a boomer.
Are you really? You
I'm
look
the
so
yeah.
young for a
Oh,
boomer.
thank you. Yeah, I'm the tail end of the boomer generation.
But you
Um,
guys were still allowed to play outside and like get
hmm.
skinned knees and do fun stuff. That
Right,
was
right,
before like being locked in the house.
right. Exactly. Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't grow up. I didn't grow up with video games or things like that, but I still love those things now.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think I have the best of both worlds
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I can
It's
use my
yeah.
imagination and I can use toys.
I thought about that the other day because I caught myself thinking, gosh, if I when I was growing up, if I had all this digital stuff, oh my God, I'd have so much fun as a teenager. I'd be dressed
Mm.
up, I'd be photoshopped, I'd start my own YouTube channel and but then I thought I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. I
Right. It
was
gives.
reading it because people growing up now, they genuinely care about likes. Like they
Mhm.
genuinely, that's like a real thing to them. It took me this long to figure that out because I thought we all knew that, like, well, at the end of the day, it's just the internet.
Right.
But we don't all know that, do we?
Nope. Nope. Some people think that the screen represents the real world, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's a facsimile. It could be a mirror of the real world, but it's not the real world.
Yeah, because I look much better in real life.
And I'm much younger.
Yeah, we're superstars in real life.
That's right.
Okay,
I look like George Clooney.
so how easy was school life? Did you run into any challenges?
Actually, school was pretty easy for me. I mean, I wasn't like super smart, but I did well. I did well in my classes. Um, I didn't make friends easily, but the friends that I did have were close friends.
Yeah.
And I'm still that way today. I mean, I don't, I wouldn't say that I'm an introvert. Maybe I'd say I'm an extroverted introvert. Um, because if I'm out in a social situation, I will, I'll mingle, but inside I'm like, I'd rather be home. Um, but yeah, I mean, I had a decent time in school, and I started. My father got me into playing football in junior high school, and then I carried that all the way through, high school, and then I played a couple seasons of semi-pro football, and I think that I guess to answer the question, it was pretty good.
So you're a football player. Wow. Okay. Did you date cheerleaders?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't think I ever even talked to a football player when I was in school. I think you're my first football player I've ever met, except for one Samoan guy.
No.
It's- but yeah, that was a whole different story. Okay,
Yeah.
I digress. This is going to be one of those calls where I have to edit for hours and hours because I'm way too comfortable and indiscreet. So, tell me what happened after school. Did you
Um, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
did you embark in college? Did you go off and start a job? What did you do?
Yeah, I didn't go to college because I was too smart for college. I didn't think I needed it. I joined the army. I worked for a little bit, then I joined the army, and then just worked odd jobs here and there, and just made a living.
So, in the meantime, did you have any thoughts about the whole acting thing, being on stage? Any feeling of like restlessness and regret that you were doing
Always,
it?
yeah, always. I mean that it was always in the back of my head and this might sound cliche, but I always felt like there was something more for me. So that restlessness was definitely there. And at the time, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to put my finger on it. I just thought there was something wrong with me because I would go from job to job and, just not feel fulfilled. And then, you know, I met my wife and we started working, and that's a whole different story.
Where did you guys meet? If you don't have
Uh,
to say.
no, I don't. We actually met in a bar in Cleveland, Ohio. And I just got divorced from my wife, and then I was going out to this karaoke bar, and it's a two-story. Upstairs was like regular, and downstairs was a sports bar, and I used to go there and do karaoke every weekend. And the way she tells the story is that she was coming up to go to the restroom, and she heard somebody singing the Doors, and I used to sing the Doors all the time. And she said she stopped and she just watched me and fell in love. And then
Okay,
we started talking, and then it was it.
I have to interject with, I happened to see that Al was a slight fan of Disneyland. And I brought that up before this call. And he said, by the way, my wife and I have done a podcast. And I thought, oh, one or two episodes. So he sent me the archives, which you can still listen to if you've ever loved or been to Disneyland. And I've only listened to one, had time to listen to one episode yet, but um, they're so brilliant. So brilliant. And talk about downplaying. That was a major podcast. That was a serious thing. That was like a serious, we're not talking amateur hour here. That was a podcast when the podcasts carried weight and it wasn't like just everyone launching up a little mic. It was a business. And the reason I asked about you meeting your wife is because what a team. I mean, you guys, I personally, I think you guys should do another one, do the same one, bring it back. I think it's crazy that you're not doing it. Even just once every 3 months.
Right.
Your audience wants it, Al. But highly, highly recommend the podcast. What was it called? Tales?
Tales from the Mouse House.
Yeah, amazing. It was, and the thing about it is, the reason I listen to podcasts, uh, either to change my mindset or to make me feel good. And you guys love what you're talking about, and it's contagious. And it puts me where you were, and I can imagine and I can see it. It's just the perfect, comfy, cozy podcast. It's like the perfect antidote this time of year. So, um, would it be, would you have, you said it might be on Apple. If I can get a link to it, I'll put it in the
Hmm.
notes of this call when it comes
Yeah.
out so people can look it
The
up.
last time I checked, it was still on Apple iTunes or Apple Podcast or whatever they call it now.
We really need to get it back on, get it on Spotify. It's too good. It's really, 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 really good. But
Yeah.
I will leave that there. So that and the other thing you said, knobbleheads,
Funko Pops, bobbleheads.
and
Yeah.
so cute. And but you see, this is where you remind me of Karen Cummins and my father and my friend Celeste from kindergarten. It's it's oh, look what I'm playing with today. Look what I have in my booth that I love. And I'm we redid our flat this summer and everything in my room is like burlesque, speakeasy, cabaret, faux fur. And I go in there and I play with my vintage collection of 17 magazine or,
Hmm.
do puzzles or knit or crochet. Or it's like the joy, the joy that you had when you were a kid and played with things you really, really loved. And when you get to be older, you can afford to buy those things for yourself.
That's right.
But some people just don't. They have like a desk that looks like an office, and
Yeah.
I don't understand those people. So I'd love to hear about your relationship and if you've always been this way and how it's come out in your life, your relationship to joy and to doing things you love and to bringing that into your day-to-day life.
Well, like I said earlier, uh, my father instilled in us when we were young that you just you've got to experience joy. If you don't have joy, what is the point in being on this planet? And so I it might have gotten buried in me, for a few years, but after meeting my wife and we just do everything together, that I still feel that way now. And now that comes out in purchasing and collecting things that make me happy. And and these Funko Pops, I mean, it's a bit of an obsession, but it's something that makes me happy. And I've got them all over. I mean, I've got some in my booth that live with me in here all the time. Mike, Sully, and Boo are always in here because this is the Monsters Inc. TARDIS booth, vocal booth, and also, just a side note, you can actually Funko Pop yourself. So this is me as a Funko Pop.
What did you do? Did you send a photo of yourself?
You actually create it. So they give you a way of doing it online, and you can create, you know, the the um, the pop to look as close to you as possible. And this little one down here, that's our puppy Kate, who passed away in 2023. So I got
Oh.
one, and Joyce, my wife Joyce, got one in honor of Kate. And then I think I've got maybe close to 200 other pops out in my studio, ranging from, you know, Star Wars, mostly Disney. I have a lot of Disney attraction pops, and just different things that mean something to me. So I'm not one of those collectors who like to keep them in the box, or I collect a certain thing. I collect whatever I like, and I won't
Yeah,
buy one just to buy one. It has to have a meaning for me, and so
that
it gives
that's
my
like
wife a
me.
lot to buy.
But I like I collect 1950s homemaking books.
Oh,
Um and yeah, I've got a whole bunch of all like the really good homemaking books like it's hard to describe like a new you and step by step and I know they're dated and then also magazines, vintage teen magazines and all the magazines that we grew up watching with like the clothes and everything.
oh
And I
yeah,
love them. And yeah, I could keep them in pristine condition, but that's not why I have them.
yeah. That defeats the purpose of having them. If you keep them in pristine condition and protected, then you're just a collector of things. I'm a
Yeah.
collector of, to borrow your phrase, I'm a collector of joy.
Yeah, and the things, I think that people are doing that because they think they're going to make money off it someday.
Right, right.
And I think the minute you try to turn things into business, you're missing the point.
Exactly. I have a couple of Funko Pops from retired Disneyland attractions that I purchased, a few years ago now, probably about 10 years ago now, for 25 to $30. They are now worth over two, $300. But I've taken them out of the box, and no, it's not as valuable, but I don't care because they're still
Yeah.
valuable to me.
And speaking of Disneyland, now I have to say, I have strong, strong, strong memories. I mean, like Atom World, Atomic World, there was like and it's not a ride anymore, but like you would go in to like the atom, you're shrunk.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I think it was called Atomic World or Atom World.
Uh-huh.
And then the submarine. Oh my God,
Mhm.
the submarine. And Small World.
Small World's one of my favorites.
And the first time we ever went was a family vacation, and my father, again, my father's such joy. Pirates of the Caribbean. Are you
Oh,
ready? Are you ready for this? You're not going to be afraid, are you? Every single time. He'd go on it like 20 times in a row, full grown man. Tell me about your first Disney. Like, when did you fall in love? How did this happen?
this is actually a funny story, and Joyce, my wife Joyce, loves to tell this story because she also does Disney travel. She's a travel planner for Disney vacations, but um, it was okay in 2006. She and I went to Hawaii for our 10-year wedding anniversary.
Had you not been to Disney before that, before you met your wife?
Nope,
Oh,
nope,
wow.
never
Okay.
been there in my life. We so in 2006 we went to Hawaii, had a wonderful time, and then the following year, 2007, we were trying to decide what to do because all of a sudden, airfare was sky high. So she suggested, "Hey, let's go to Disneyland." And I'm like, "Oh, geez, an amusement park? Really? You want to spend a week in an amusement park?" So I acquiesced and we went all the way there. We're driving there, all the way there. I'm still doubtful. Like, this is just going to be the most boring time I've ever had. But the minute, and this is not a joke, the minute we went through the gates, I looked around and it was like something, a switch flipped in my head. And it was like love at first sight. Seeing everything, it just felt like I was home. And we're running all over the place, Disneyland and then over at California Adventure. And from that moment forward, I've been in love with Disneyland. Everything about it. And then, a couple of years later, she and I started the podcast, and that only deepened my love for Disneyland and for Walt Disney. And I know, it's controversial because he was a product of the time he was in, and a lot of people don't like him, but he was one of the most brilliant people around.
I hate controversy though, because to me, that's other people trying to kill someone else's joy. Let
Right,
people love what they love. How
right.
about just move along and love what you love?
Hmm.
Why do you have to like take all the good things? I,
Exactly,
if you
exactly.
see joy and you see somebody, I mean, unless they're like a murderer or like, you know what I mean? There are exceptions, but seriously, the whole judgy thing trend
Right.
these days is like so boring.
It
So
is.
you love Disney,
Oh
and it
yeah.
must have been so romantic. You guys just had your wife already been there before?
Oh yeah, she'd been there. She grew up going to Disneyland and Disney World,
Yeah.
um, and it was just kind of neat thinking back and her watching me and just she resisted the urge to say, "I told you so."
Oh, I just,
Well,
so how many times would you say you've been since?
oh my gosh, since 2007, probably 50, 75 times at least. Yeah, we
I'd love
actually
to
became
go.
annual pass holders for a while, and we would go 4 times a year.
My sister had one of those when they were like still really cheap,
Right.
and we would like I'd call her job and I'd say that I was her because we sound alike and that I was really sick. Actually, once we took it too far and I called her job, said I was her and I quit. And she called my job, said she was me and she quit because it's easy when it's not actually you. And then we jumped in her Mustang convertible, played Buddy Holly on the freeway. It was a spring day. You could smell the orange blossoms,
Oh
get to
yeah.
Disneyland, and had the breaded fried zucchini at the Blue Bayou restaurant next to the Pirates of the Caribbean. The
Right. That's
smell
my
of that
favorite restaurant.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Childhood memories. It just, we went to Euro Disney.
Mm.
I've been there. And it's like Disney, but like somebody's moved the furniture around. I've
Yeah.
never been to Disney World. Have you been to Disney World?
No, I haven't. No, we're planning on going next year though.
I wonder if it's cool or cooler or as cool.
Um, I, it depends on your definition of cool. Now, for fun, from what I understand, it is a lot more fun than Disneyland because there's so much more to do. In fact, Joyce went there in April, I think it was April of 2023 for like a web a seminar type thing for the travel agency, and they've got a lot of stuff to do there. But for history and for that personal touch, I like Disneyland better. I mean, even though I haven't been to Disney World, but I will go, I will always love Disneyland. It'll be my first love because that's the park that Walt Disney walked in. His fingers are over everything.
And it feels like when you step into Disneyland, you step through a wall of time.
Hmm.
Like it feels like it's the same time.
Right.
Like it's not a different time than like he could walk in at any moment. That's what
Right.
it feels like. The air feels like. I know they pipe in smells and everything, but
Oh
the
yeah.
air feels like that. It
Yep.
feels like you've stepped back in time.
Hmm.
And
It
there's
does,
something
and
special
it
about
is.
it.
That's why I will, no matter how old I get. I told my wife I'm going to be 80 years old, and you're going to be wheeling me in a wheelchair, and I'm still going to Disneyland.
I love that. I hope so. Now, and that's why I wish I really, just saying, guys should do another pod, at least maybe
Yeah.
three a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think that you'd get a lot of listeners, especially if you stick it on Spotify without any like much work. So Joy, Disneyland. I want to talk energy because
Hmm.
I have a theory, and I think this is what came through on your podcast and why I liked it so much. Because I think that if you follow joy and let yourself express joy, you bring that energy into your work and you can feel it in your voice, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And have you
Yeah.
ever had a time where you've been depressed or down and unable to tap into that joy? And did you overcome it?
Oh, yes. Yes. Most notably in 2023, October 14th, 2023 is when we lost our puppy.
Oh,
Yeah, she had been battling a lot of health problems for a long time. Um, and she was always bouncing back. I mean, no matter what happened, she'd always bounce back. But she had uh, heart failure, and she had all kinds of problems. And yeah, that day, I there was the most profoundly depressing time I have ever experienced in my life. And I experienced the death of my father, the death of my mother, my brother, and my uncle. Um, Not to mention my in-laws. But yeah, and it was very difficult because I was in the middle of a couple of different books that I was narrating, and it was very difficult for me to get back into a place of happiness without sounding fake, if that makes any sense. Um,
but what strikes me is, do you think this is fair to say? And I'm just thinking it now listening to you talk. If you're a person that allows yourself to feel joy and love, unguarded, so basically if you walk around with an open heart when something bad does happen, it's it's an open wound.
oh, absolutely, yeah. I One thing I've come to realize through all that was that the deeper the depression you're in over something like that just means that that's how much you loved. That's how much
Yeah.
joy you felt.
It's
So
the
it's,
price.
exactly, exactly. Joy is a great thing. Love is a great thing, but it does come with a pretty heavy price.
And that's hard because I can't live without when we lost our last um I used to have cats and dogs, so I understand that feeling very well. And but we started getting birds when we moved here
Mm.
because manageable. And I thought it would be a thing that would sit in a cage. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And it soon became evident when you have a pet that can literally talk to you and tells you it loves you. Do you know what I mean? And then
Hmm.
they die. It's you're like the mom. You're like, I mean, it was, and I remember when my last bird went, it was a horrible, horrible ending. It was just horrible. I can't think about it. I got my first book with a certain publisher, and it was by a famous conservationist. And it was a 14-hour book, most of which was talking about all the birds that we're killing.
Oh boy.
It was the most.
Uh,
It's, I gotta tell you, I don't think I've ever cried so much in my entire life. But I went 3 months we lasted and we got another bird. I can't,
mhm.
it's like, you know, the worst, you know, the more you love them, it's going to hurt more.
Right.
But if you don't have them, you can't live without them once you've had them, you know. So it's the price, isn't it, of
It
love?
is. It is.
Yeah.
Well, this took a dark turn.
That's interesting. Yeah. So, and I told Al before this call, this is going to be a call all about the seasonal comforts and finding joy and happiness. Let's talk
Uh,
Disney and Monsters
uh,
University. And I spent 20 minutes talking dead pets. So,
yes.
but how did you bring yourself back to joy?
It was, it's still going on. It's a very slow process. My wife and I, we we consciously share pictures of Katie, was her name, Katie, with each other, and we'll joke about stories about how silly she was and the funny things that she used to do, and it was, over the last year and a half or so, it's been getting a little bit better each day. Um, I don't stop myself from feeling bad. If I need to feel bad, I let myself, mourn Katie, because to me that's still honoring her memory. But I don't let it consume me anymore. I did in the beginning. I made a conscious choice to say, okay, this has wrecked me, and it is fine for me to feel that. And by letting myself experience it, I gradually kind of started getting myself out of it. And then, as odd as this may sound, what helped even more was recently, this past October 26th, my wife and I celebrated our 29th wedding anniversary, and we stayed at a local resort called the Boulders, and it's out in the middle of, boulders, really, out in the wilderness, and it's heavily influenced by Native American culture. And in the center, they have this. It's like a circular maze. Um, it's a Native American thing. You pick up a rock and you concentrate on something, and then you just walk the circle slowly, thinking about whatever it is you want to think about. And you walk the circle until you get to the very center, and then you just leave the rock there. And it's symbolic. You're leaving whatever it is that's troubling you right there, and then you walk back out. And ever since then, I've I can think about Katie without the immediate urge to be sad. I think about her, and it kind of makes me chuckle sometimes. And I
You've
know
put
it's a
the
mental
energy
thing.
some, well, no, but you put the energy somewhere, and they say that's the same thing. People that write journals, they say
Hmm.
that that's, and also the other thing I read recently, again, as a reminder, there's that poem where the guy says, I've walked away sickness and troubles and anything that ails you, just walk it out.
Hmm.
because you're moving your body and you're moving through the energy. And what you said about I allow myself to feel my feelings because don't they say when people have injuries, if you try to keep going, you overcompensate. Like say you hurt your left hip, you overcompensate in your right. Then you develop a lifetime of patterns in misalignment because you're protecting an injury. You're not letting yourself heal and work through it. You're just compensating. Then the rest of your body goes haywire because you're putting all your weight on your right hip. You know what I mean? And so it's like I think that's what it is with emotions. That's very wise
Hmm.
of you that you're meant to have the open heart, live life fully, and then the emotions hit, you feel it, and you let it go.
Right.
And
It's when you
and
bottle things up when
yeah,
it becomes dangerous.
yeah. And they say that about shame, don't they? The things that you feel shame about are poison. They become poison in your body if you don't. Oh, that makes me feel really good about having told my life story in 250 interviews to total strangers on YouTube because nothing's bottled up.
There you go.
But so this time of year, right? Do you have rituals or things you guys do? Do you do tree, decorate the house, Thanksgiving? Do you do things that make you happy this time of year? What are your favorite
Yeah.
things to get you through the
This
winter?
this is my well, getting through the winter in Phoenix, Arizona, it means getting through, the bone chilling 50-degree temperatures.
I lived in
But
LA though. We still
yeah.
managed to act like we were cold
Oh
just for
yeah,
the
we still
sake
do. Yeah.
of
Yeah, but this is my favorite time of year. I mean, I absolutely love fall and I love winter. But yeah, we do we decorate the house like crazy with Christmas decorations. Right now, we just bought two more Christmas trees, and total,
two
I
more.
think we
Wait,
have
wait. Two more? How many Christmas trees do you have?
I think currently we have 15 Christmas trees
Do you
throughout the
put them
house.
all up?
Yep, every one of them. Yeah, I have in my studio, I have two out in the studio, and then I have this one in the booth, little light up, old fashioned
Oh,
one in the booth, and then my wife has two in her office, and then the rest are throughout the house. We have what I call the Christmas tree farm in the living room. We have two 7.5 footers, and then we have three 7.5 foot pencil trees. And yeah, we love to decorate. And we love to cook big Thanksgiving dinners for just the two of us because that's pretty much all the family we have here. But
we
yeah,
we do this. We do the same. But if you're two like-minded people that are like love of the holidays, it you kind of don't. I think that's a media thing telling you
yeah,
that like Christmas or Thanksgiving looks a certain way.
right. Yeah, it could be if you're alone and you like being alone, then that's your family Christmas.
Yeah, yeah,
There's nothing wrong
yeah.
with it.
Yeah, yeah. We get the budgie a gift. We hang out. We do the
Oh,
tree. Thanksgiving kind of lost its luster when we became vegetarians.
oh yeah.
And we're in the UK. But this year I am going to watch the parade
Mm.
and put eggnog in my coffee.
Oh yeah, love the eggnog. I
Well, I
live
wish
for
like
eggnog season.
you guys get the good stuff, the cold stuff in the store in the refrigerator. I would kill for that. Kill for it. Cannot get that over here.
Mm.
Can't get the real stuff over here. Okay.
Uh,
I think I need to touch on audiobooks,
oh sure.
probably a little bit. It's- How did you, how did it start?
Um, Funny enough, it started from the podcast, the Tales from the Mouse House podcast. Um, we we had interviewed a former cast member of Disneyland. He was a cast member in the late '70s, early '80s, and he wrote a book called "In the Shadow of the Matterhorn." And we interviewed him about it, and it's a fun book. And then after we got done recording, he stayed on the line and we were chatting, and he asked me, have you ever recorded on an audiobook before? And I said, Nope, never did anything. This is the only voice work I've ever done." And he said, "I would like to hire you to make my book into an audiobook." So that was the very
Wow.
first book I ever got. Um, and I was doing it, part time for him, and it took me like 3 months to do a 10-hour audiobook. And then just before I got finished with it, I was laid off from my job of nearly 15 years.
What was it? What
And
were you doing? What was the
I
job?
I used to work for a for-profit university. It was part of the University of Phoenix group, and I was the Veterans Affairs Benefits Coordinator. So I set up all the education benefits for our veterans, and I was it was determined that I was redundant.
Yeah,
So
they
they
did
let
that to
me,
me too. They
yeah,
did that to me too. But oh
yeah. I
well.
mean, after 15 years, it's kind of like a kick in the stomach. But
I was relieved. I was happy. I was happy. I mean, did you miss it at all?
I did, because you do something that long and that becomes your identity. And I really did like, being a vet myself. I liked helping veterans get their their education.
In retrospect, though, are you glad it happened?
Oh, absolutely, because I
Yeah.
I adore what I do now. Um, but at the beginning, I started freaking out, and my wife said, "Well, now's the time for you to start your voiceover company."
I
And
love your wife. By the way,
yeah,
I love your wife. I think
oh,
she's
so
a
do I.
superstar.
She
I think
is.
she's definitely should be on mic, in front of camera, whatever. She's brilliant. So
I I'm gonna cook you up with her, and because I've been trying to convince her to do this for years.
she's brilliant. And the
Yeah,
way
she
she
is.
played, and she sounded supremely confident on the mic.
Mhm.
And the way she played off, you guys played off of each other, it's just masterful, brilliant.
Thank you.
And sometimes you would say something and you could literally see the look on her face just
Yeah.
hearing it.
Oh yeah. I would, because for most of the run of the podcast, we were in the same room, kind of next to each other, and if I said something stupid, I'd get this look from her, like, really?
Yeah, I could like hear her roll her eyes.
Right. Right.
It was
Yeah.
really good. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan now. Okay, so then did you jump on ACX after that book or
I did.
what
Yeah,
did you
I
do?
did. I did. And then, yeah, I jumped on ACX and immediately got, you know, several offers. In retrospect, I shouldn't have taken, because they were just not good books. And one bit of advice I would have for new people joining ACX: don't take every offer that comes your way, because there are predatory rights holders out there who will look for the people who've never done anything and try to take advantage of them. And that's what happened to me. And in the beginning, I did everything wrong. I was the person that thought, well, you know what? I've been acting all my life. I don't really need any instruction in this. Just give me the book and I'll do my thing. But I quickly came to learn that, even though we do this job solo, we need people. We need to learn things. We need to be trained on things. And that's that's what I did. I mean, my first coach was Sean Allen Pratt.
Yeah,
Brilliant,
he
brilliant
was my
man.
first coach too.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Johnny Heller, Joel Frumkin, all those people gave me the tools to do what I'm doing now. And here I am, 200 and almost 250 books later, still loving what I do.
So what did those first, if you don't mind me asking, those first, because I'm conscious if somebody's very new to the industry, they're watching this video, it might help them. What did those
Mhm.
first, and it's worse now, the predatory and
Right.
the market now. So what did those first people do that you wish you'd known better than to fall for?
Well, not having confidence in myself back then, um, I allowed them to dictate how the book should go.
Oh yeah.
Like I would read it the way I interpreted it, and then they would come back, no, no, do it this way, this way, this way, and then I let them do it. Um, Several of them initially offered, a higher uh, per finished hour rate. And then after I started turning in the stuff, they go, we think that it's only worth this. And then, and
Oh
I,
my
right.
God.
Yeah. And I stupidly let him do it. And then I also did a lot of royalty share books that were just complete garbage. And I still have one that I did from the very beginning that has never sold a copy, not one.
Oh, remind me, I'm going to send you a message about that afterwards.
Okay.
I'm going to send you a message about that after this call. So yes, I will edit this part out. Note to self. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's, you have to know what you're worth, first of all, and also understand that you might not think you're worth $250 per finished hour, but you are. And if you're not, you shouldn't be putting yourself in a position where you're taking a project yet. And what you do affects everybody else. So what, John Smith does as a narrator, he affects what I do as a narrator because ultimately, if he's consistently taking bad payouts for a job, that's going to kind of train the entire rights holder
Yeah.
industry. So
Hannibal
yeah,
taught me about royalty share and how to check the numbers to make sure you're never 100% sure, but you definitely want to check your figures before you
oh yeah,
sign. And one thing I learned is there are a lot, it's just not worth the time if you do the figures and it's a royalty share book and the numbers aren't stacked up. And also, if the writer isn't already engaged in promoting and marketing their book, because if you're giving them something for free, they're not going to value it.
right, right,
And if they're not already putting the time in to market it, they're not going to do any more after you've done the book.
exactly, exactly. You've got to do the research, especially if you're going to do a royalty share. I've done a couple books, over the years that I call passion projects that I knew weren't going to sell very well, but I
Yeah.
wanted to do them because it was something I wanted. I did uh, Walt Before Mickey. It was a book that was actually the basis. There was a movie, Walt Before Mickey, and this book was the source material for that movie. And it's kind of dry and it doesn't sell really well, but I wanted to do it because it's a history lesson on Walt Disney. And, but I knew
But
going into it that it wasn't going to be a great seller.
but that when I decide if I'm going to take on a royalty share, especially if I chase somebody for a royalty share, if I reach out to somebody, I check the numbers. I either need to make the equivalent, a good amount of royalty share over time, or it's something that looks good in my portfolio that I would be proud to do, that I could then submit for something, advertise, use to send one of my publisher reach outs. Look what I've just done. I'd like to do more like this. Or, and it's the big one, what you said, it's something I'm so passionate about.
Mhm.
It's either a mini vacation for me or it's teaching me something.
Right.
It's because every time we put our foot in the booth, it's practice, isn't it?
It is.
We're working on our craft
Right.
and we're feeding our brain
Hmm.
because the stuff that we read goes in our head.
Yeah. Yeah. I've learned something from every single book that I've narrated. Maybe not always a great something, but something.
Yeah, but even the ones you don't think. I had one about people that compulsively pick their skin and stuff like a medical
Mm,
condition. I'm not making small, I mean, but it's not, I'm very squeamish about medical things. So it's
yeah.
not something I would ever like put myself forward for, but it's a book and it's a
Right.
job. And I learned there were like all these cognitive behavioral hacks in it. And I learned things that I'm still using to this day that have literally changed my life for that one book that I wouldn't have taken,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know. So what a weird job we have, huh?
It is. I love my job. I mean, never in my work history before can I say today I was a doctor, I was a superhero, And I was a little girl.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could have said it. I could have said it, but then I would have probably been fired and locked up.
Yeah, and yeah, I realized the other day, I know a disturbingly lot. I know a lot about psychopaths now.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody looked at our search history for
Oh,
words,
I know. I know.
you know what I
Oh,
mean? And the true crime shows, they always look at your search history. We'd be in
they do.
trouble. Every
Big
single one
trouble.
of us.
Yep. Yep.
We'd be deviants. So, okay. You're an amazing actor. You're a podcast host that blows me away. You and your wife. I'm not going to let that go on this call. I just think you guys are terrific. You, I've listened to samples on Audible, and you've got a serious delivery. You've got gravitas, but somehow you inject it with energy. Because that's what you want. You want that underlying energy from your narrator. And two people that like I had wanted to work with ended up going because I couldn't do it for cheaper. They ended up going virtual voice.
Oh,
And I did something just out of curiosity that the other day and looked those up, and they both had only one review. And the one review said, this book would have been great, but why did they have to get a virtual voice narrator? They ruined it. The cadence is awful. And I was like, see, you
yeah.
should have gone with me.
That's right. That's right.
But you have you're a prime example of what we say when we talk about how a robot can't deliver an audiobook, because your personality and soul is tangible in your words in every single one of your samples. And that is a skill and a talent. So whatever you learned, whether it through coaches or innate ability, that's what we're all working to master. And that's really something amazing.
Thank
So
you.
it's really amazing. I'm working on that all the time. I have my good days,
Mhm.
I have my bad days. So can you tell me, Al, the studio audience that's going to be watching this in the next 100 years or so, if you're going to leave them with something, if they take nothing else away from this call but one thing, what would you want them to know? Piece of advice, wisdom, what not to do, funny joke? What would you leave them with?
Rabbi and a priest walk into it. No, I'm kidding.
I'm
Now,
all there for it.
now, this is something that I actually had my wife print off for me. You know, she does crafting, and I have it right here in my booth. And this is something that whenever I start to get a little stressed or lose connection to what I'm working on, I read this, and it's a quote from Jeff Bridges, one of my favorite actors in history. And he said, "Remember to have fun. Don't take it too seriously. Enjoy yourself." That is, enjoy the moment. That's what I try to remember always. So if there's something that I want other people to remember from me, and a bit of advice is exactly that. Don't take yourself too seriously. They are just words on a page. Don't freak out about it. Have fun and enjoy the moment, because this moment will never come back, ever.
Yeah. And they say people that think about the past too much suffer depression, and think people
Mhm.
that think about the future too much suffer anxiety.
Right.
And neither of those times are happening right now, are they?
Exactly. No. I mean, the past is behind you. The future is in front of you. Don't miss the present. If you're looking if you're looking out front or if you're looking behind you, you're missing what's going on right here. I mean, I have my moments, where I'll dwell on something that happened, but then I remember that every single thing that happened to me, good, bad, or devastating, created the person that I am right at this moment. And that person is the one doing the job.
Do you have a mindfulness or meditation or some sort of a practice that reminds you to live in the moment?
I breathe. I try to just do conscious breathing. And whenever I start to, feel a little stress, I just close my eyes and take a deep breath and just try to blank my mind out and just breathe for a few minutes.
I like that. I like that. I like
And
that.
I play
So,
with my pops.
but yeah, but seriously, I want one of those ones. I
Yeah,
want one
they
of
keep
those
me
ones.
grounded.
I want one of the ones that looks like me, but I want to make it look like me when I was like looking really good. Like me a few
Yeah.
years ago, maybe. Like,
Originalfunko.com.
or goal weight me. Not that, sorry, I shouldn't bring up diet. I'm trying not to bring
Yeah.
up diets to not trigger people, but yeah. Okay. This is like, yeah, this is good. So tell me about your Thanksgiving dinner since we're not doing Thanksgiving dinner. What are you guys having?
Uh, we're gonna have a turkey. We bought a 16-pound turkey, and we'll have leftovers for days after that. I cook. I'm the cook in the family. I'll cook turkey, um, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole. My wife will do uh, sweet potatoes, yams,
A green
and
bean casserole, the one with those fried onion things they have in
yeah,
it?
uh-huh,
Oh, I haven't had
yeah,
those since I was a little girl.
yeah. We have them every year.
Oh, I might
Yeah.
need to make that. Oh, I love that.
Super easy. It's just green beans, uh, um, mushroom soup, cream of mushroom soup, and those fried onions, and
Oniony
then you bake it.
things. I'm
Yeah.
sure I can find those over here. I'm
Oh,
sure
I'm
they.
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
And then I'm
green
gonna
bean
make this year.
casserole.
Yeah. And then what was it? Green bean casserole. Da, 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 da. And then and my wife makes the stuffing. And then I'm gonna make homemade sourdough bread.
Oh my gosh. I want Thanksgiving. Do you watch the Macy's Day Parade?
We do. We watch it every year.
Do you play
Uh,
football in your yard? Where do I get the
no.
idea that American families are all out in their yards playing football with each other?
From the I don't know from the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah, maybe that's where I'm seeing
Yeah.
it. I have never once gone out in my yard and played
Uh,
football.
yeah, I
And you were
couldn't
a
do that
football
now.
player.
Yeah, and that's why I can't do it now.
So do you watch it on TV?
Actually, believe it or not, my wife is the bigger football fan than I am. Yeah, we she watches when I watch it with her, but we watch football Sunday night or Sunday, Monday, and Thursday.
This is the, I've got a romantic notion of America because I haven't lived there for a very long time. So, like, my America is the America that, like, I listen to like Harlan Coben audiobooks
Oh
and,
yeah,
that's the America. And Ohio
Ohio,
and
yeah,
all the movies and
Americana.
Nora Ephron. That's my America. Gilmore Girls America. Well, one last question, very
Okay.
important, pertinent to the job, everyone. I'm sorry I've gotten a little off track. It's just such a great guest. You can't blame me. Um, so do your Christmas trees go up before or after Thanksgiving?
Oh, before, yeah, yeah. We started putting them up last weekend,
Wow, when do they come down?
January 6th.
Wow, you guys are old school.
Yeah, yeah. We
Old
go we
school.
go on the Disney schedule. That's when Disney takes theirs down.
Brilliant. Well, I'm going to immerse myself in more of your podcast
Yeah,
because it
good.
is truly magical. It's going to get me through this holiday season. Thank you so much. And please, please, please find a way to put it on Spotify. If I find a way first, I'll let you guys know.
Okay,
And I will put a connection in the links below if anybody wants to listen to it. It's just pure comfort listening.
thank
And
you.
it's just lovely. For those of us that aren't quite ready to forget the happiness we felt as kids, that it's ours for our whole lives. We don't
Mm.
have to lose it, do we?
Nope, it's still in there. You just got to find it.
Except you did put me off going to Comic-Con.
Yeah, that was crazy. Comic Con was crazy.
That's the one I watched. That's the one I watched or listened
Uh,
to. Thank you, Al. I'm so glad we caught up. It's been Fabulous. And thank you, all my favorite guests joined today. Thank you so much, guys. It was lovely seeing all of you. Have a wonderful day. Happy Thanksgiving. Mwah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.